All right. So we are discussing I have oils. Now what? What do you do when you get to open up your fantastic box of beautiful things and you're not really 100% sure what you're supposed to do with them? Or alternatively, if you've already had them in your home for a while and you've used like, one or two things, but you don't feel super solid about how to actually make like a really awesome daily routine that's super supportive of your own goals, well, I would like to help you work through a couple of the ways that we can do that. We're going to take just a few minutes to do some housekeeping first. And I think this should be, hopefully, we'll go through this part. Nope, nope. There we go, fairly quick. So I really like to be able to have people interact during this. And if you're watching this as a recording, you may not necessarily need to know this, but if you are watching it while you're listening, no, if you're watching while you're on your phone, I meant to say, then you're going to need to tap the screen and you'll have this little section pop up. And after that pops up, you're going to click on the participants button. See, it looks like it has a little voice bubble. At the bottom of that participants list, you'll see the chat option, which we have highlighted there in red, and you'll just be able to type in your answer there. Now, why would you want to answer the questions during the chat? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's because when you answer the questions, or alternatively, if you're watching this as a recording, you can click on the Google Forms link and fill out the questions there, including the code word. There'll be 4 questions plus a code word. And when you are participating and investing in your education and being able to just like really get to know the kind of products that are in your home and how to use them, feel comfortable with them, then I would like to invest in you by giving you a free diffuser. So you see here one, I'd like to have several options for you guys to choose from. This particular one goes for about 24 hours. And so that's really nice. We also have ones that are much more like good for smaller spaces. I happen to really love this one actually. It seems to be super quiet and it's like it almost never runs out of water. It's amazing. So I do like that one. And then also another choice is one that is waterless. It just uses pads. So if you're using it near technology or something like that you can't have water tipped over, it's another good option. So, anyone who goes through all 8 weeks of the series here is going to get a diffuser, and so that one's kind of fun to be able to know that you're investing in you, building into your skills, and being able to get some real use of things. But then also, in addition to that, getting a little extra perk. So that's how we like to work it in our group here. Be super supportive of not only getting oils in your home, but making sure that you know exactly how to use them as well. Okay, so that's why you want to answer as we go or afterwards. And here are some ways that you can reach me. If you email enamorwithnature@gmail.com, or you can look me up on YouTube, especially if you're looking for the recording of this one, if you're not in a way, which I'll show you in a minute, if you're not connected into the Remind group so that you can have these sent to you easily. Here's a couple of things. If you're a Facebooker, then you will love to be able to check these out. So if you are on Facebook and you go into the groups section and find Enamor with Nature Oil Education, you'll be able to join in. This is also for, we call it like a public group. So you're allowed to invite a friend who needs to learn a little bit about oils or something like that, wants to dabble, but who doesn't actually have their own account. But it's also a place for us to keep you informed of events coming up and get a little bit of education out as well. Now, the Our Essential Oil place is you do have to have your own account in our specific line or under the umbrella. And so that one you have to kind of be invited into, and that's at Our Essential Oil place. And so if you're not connected into these two and would like to be, hey, let's help you, all right? I really like the Our Essential Oil place in order for us to get answers to some of the kind of more nuts and bolts kind of questions about like, what do I use for inflammation around my toenail, or something random that's going on in your situation right there. Okay, here's another thing. You can be in the know about whenever we're having one of our um, continuing education classes or some of the extra education classes that we do on Sunday afternoons, by sending a text to the number 81010. So 81010 is like where you would put the number where you normally dial, kind of whatnot, but for a text. And the message that you send in the text is, if you are local to Orlando, you'll do the one that has the @ symbol and the lovely V that stands for the lovely village, meaning the Enamored with Nature Village. And then if you're farther away, you would just do the @ symbol with far and loved. Okay, so that makes a difference only in the way that my local Orlando loves sometimes have events that I might be sending a thing like, can't wait to see you on Saturday at 4 p.m. or whatever. And if you're in Washington State or something like that, then that's going to be kind of boring to get those all the time, right? So and in general, you can usually expect to hear from me about once or twice a week. So this is not something that I get super spammy, and all the things actually come from me directly. You're able to reply to me right there. It does not go to the group. It only goes to Amanda as the individual. If you'd like to get those reminders on email instead of on your phone, that way you can check them at your own time, or if you'd like to click into the Zoom link through your email, then you are able to change it in the account settings. So on Android, you would just go into account and enable the notifications for email. And similar with if you're working on iPhone, you would just find the account settings up here instead, or you can make it allow for adding the email here. So I hope that's a help to you. I'm going to go ahead and jump into, oh no, wait, I did the wrong one. Hang on. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to jump into the handout that we're starting from today, and this helps me stay on track, and it's also a benefit to you. Marcella is going to put this in the chat, and we'll also put it into the show notes. So if you're watching this, see on YouTube or something like that, you'll have the link in the show notes to be able to print this out, and then as you're listening in, you can write in your own answers as you go. Here, if you're on live, or also if you're using the show notes link to the Google form, then go ahead and put in the chat for me, type in the answer for the question, where do you keep your oils? So if you're just first starting, you may still have your oils in your box. That's the worst place for them to be. Take them out, take them out. All right, so tell me, where do you keep your oils? It's interesting to note, the more the people who have been using their oils longer and who really have it as a fantastic way of life for themselves that really benefits them, you'll find they often have them all over the house. Most people start with just something kind of central in their home, and then it expands from there. So go ahead and keep putting that in the chat. And where we're starting here is open up everything you bought. If you're new to oils, make sure you just go ahead and get them open. And part of it is putting on those stickers and getting kind of familiar with how things smell. And the idea is to put the things that you will actually use where you'll actually use them. Okay, so you might have them spread out and have like say like lavender in the bedroom, or you might have let's see, you might have the lemon next to your refrigerator to be able to put some things in your water. So different things like that. And here's another thing that I think is important: get that diffuser plugged in, make sure that you're enjoying those health and mood benefits. And it doesn't have to be complicated when it comes to diffusers. I know a lot of times I've seen people who get a new diffuser and they get a little concerned about like not doing it right, and so they'll they'll leave it, because it seems like they have to read directions to it and they're not worried. It shouldn't be that complicated. If you got a diffuser that's that complicated, give me a call. I can probably help you work through it. But the thing is, most of them are pretty easy. It's just, you kind of look for a line that shows you where to add the water to. And then in general, you're going to go with about 4 drops. Some of them have a larger reservoir, or they're meant to go for a longer time, so you may add more drops, or if you're in a small space, you may add less drops. But in general, it should just think about 4 drops as being your baseline, and do whatever it is that is calling to you. Okay, so I think that's the best way to go for diffusers, is what you think. Now, we do love to share diffuser recipes and things like that, and if you are looking specifically for something that is like fall flavor or something like that, it might be cool to get an idea. But in general, just don't be scared. Just give it a try. There's a lot of intuitiveness about how essential oils work, and that's one of the things that we hope to help you develop through a lot of education. It's a big deal to me to not only have the tools that you need and the education about how to use them, but then there's this third aspect. There's this like intuition, or like ownership that you can use. And that's what really makes a difference when you're trying to switch from kind of the conventional style of not so much health to a lifestyle that's more in the ideal range of what you would like it to be. Okay, so I'm going to pop over and see a couple answers that you guys wrote. So I see some people say keep it in the kitchen, keep some in the bedroom, bathroom. I'm seeing Marcella say on the headboard. That's a really good place. Yeah, I keep mine on the bedside, but yeah, headboard is the same idea. My husband has some on his side of the bed and I have some on my side of the bed. So I guess that if I had a headboard, maybe I should keep mine there. Then I could have them for both of us in the same place. Okay, desk, purse. These are great. Slowly getting them organized by what they use them for: kitchen, office, bedroom, bathroom, pocketbook. Yes, all of the above. Fantastic. Thank you guys for sharing. Next, I am curious to know, and I really do love finding out these. I often find out really cool stories. So our question is about the 3 reasons that you purchased doTERRA. Now, what I would like to kind of change this to in terms of what we share here, which may or may not impact how I actually go over the rest of this form, but even if you guys are answering on a Google form or here, tell me, what is the one thing, just pick one thing that you were looking for a solution for when you were getting started with doTERRA. So just tell me one thing. I know it says 3 there, don't get distracted. Just tell me one thing that you really wanted a solution for that kind of got you started. All right, so here's a couple things that I think will be useful for you. I'm going to switch over to this. I have to go ahead and jump in here. We're talking about like the one thing that is getting people into using doTERRA, is just taking a plunge to actually get some in your home. I have to tell you about these wellness kits. There's 3 wellness kits, and there's these are it's a new thing that's only coming out this month here, October, what are we on, October 3rd, right? So October 1st, they let these loose. And this style is that it's a 90-day program. Month 1, you have 1 set of awesomeness that specifically addresses mind and mood needs. Month 2, you have a different set of awesomeness. And month 3, you have a 3rd set. So for the mind and mood, this track, because there's 3 tracks also, so I hope this doesn't get too confusing. So what happens is you're going to turn on this wellness kit option, and $75 gets you what you see here, plus a 20% discount on this whole other list of really cool things that we'll have to look into more another day. But so I already have these in my home right now, and they're all things that I have used before. Nice, cool carrying case. So the second month, the bath salts, the 5 ml black spruce lavender roller, 15 ml adaptive, and the wild orange come in like a little like more disposable paper bag, because they're like, we already gave you this really awesome like neoprene bag, or not, it's not neoprene, it's some sort of other natural, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, but you already have you have a way to like to get those clumped together that you're like, oh, I need some help with my mind and mood. So then they're all in one place. Then month 3, you have a mini body butter, balance roller, serenity spray, adaptive spray. We haven't seen these before. Some of these are limited time offers. Cedarwood, citrus bliss, and lavender in their 15 ml form. So I think these are all like, if I were going to advise somebody about getting a handle on their mood and wellness kind of stuff, these would be the things that I would tell them that I think they need in general anyway. And so doTERRA has just kind of allowed us to hit the easy button and have us just, you know, for 75 to be able to get like these sets in our home without even having to think about it or worry about it or kind of weed through and say, oh my goodness, I don't know, it's too overwhelming for me to make a decision. Well, awesome. Here's the easy button for you guys. By the way, these are all you can turn them off and turn, like if you're like, oh, well, I actually do have a couple of those things, well, go ahead and hit pause on it and you can restart it later. It's totally fine to do that. All right, so here's the wellness kit, immunity wellness. And so I have these, this first set here came in my, I got my stuff with my convention goodies. And so you'll notice it actually comes with the On Guard foaming hand soap plus the dispenser. The little floss that you see here in the front is actually, it's something that we've never seen before and that we actually can't buy on our own either. So that's, it's fun that they throw in a lot of these limited time, you know, kind of offers or never seen before things. And these ones are the samples of the new toothpaste, which are great. So Wild Orange Purify and On Guard are going to be in that first set, which I know who can't use that, plus the little, you know, sweet little bag. And the copper tongue scraper is a freebie that comes in the month 2. Also, we have the tea tree grapefruit mini mouthwash, which we haven't seen before. I do love the full size one, but I've never seen the mini. The On Guard soft gel sanitizing mist beadlets. And then month 3, that's going to have the On Guard hand wipe sanitizing mist, On Guard roller, breathe, frankincense in the 4 ml roller, stronger oregano sanitizing mist, and mini veggie caps. Now this is really cool because oregano, you guys probably have heard us mention before, is kind of a spicy oil, and really other than like toe fungus, like what I mentioned before, or like some other severe like infections, we really don't use oregano very much except for immunity and being able to kind of have these awesome veggie caps and things like that to be able to kind of give us a little bit of a lesson in how to use those internally is going to be fantastic. And I want to show you here also, we have the little, what do we call this? Like a little slide that goes on the case when you first receive it. It has the instructions. If you guys open this up, you guys can probably see the instructions for how to use each of the things that it came with. Now, each time that one of those packets comes to you, like every month, it'll have the instructions for each of those things. So when you get to the time when you're going to be able to use those internally, make like the flu bomb or something like that, which you guys can get, you know, good stuff from the recipes in our Facebook group, or we sometimes send those out by email as well. But I think those will be very supportive for you, so you guys can actually feel really comfortable using the things. Because I know oregano is one of the ones that most often people tell me like, oh, I bought my oils like 3 years ago, and the only thing I haven't ever used is oregano. Or that's, you know, sometimes I hear things like that. So hopefully this will be something that will also equip you with those veggie caps to be able to use those. And okay, so Relief and Wellness Kit is the Relief Wellness. So this is if you're struggling with a lot of pain or inflammation. So we have a couple of the Aroma Touch Deep Blue, these Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. Oh my goodness, you guys, these, just the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex alone, the ones that are in this container here, just by themselves are $60. That is with the discount, right? So it's even more than that if you're paying retail price. So to be able to pay $75 and get the whole kit with the other things like the Deep Blue, which is like 37, the Aroma Touch, which I can't remember. I think it's like 29 or maybe 30. There's some samples and this awesome little massage ball. I have actually used this against the wall. You put it like, behind you. You kind of like lean up against the wall and make it massage that one spot that you can't quite reach. So I'm really, really liking it. It's like the perfect thickness for it. My husband even has enjoyed it. And then month 2, you'd be able to get the wintergreen, which is an often forgotten one that I try to let people know that if they're struggling with pain, that one's a really good one to get. But if you don't know, you may not, but here in this, just you hit the easy button and have these supportive things. This Deep Blue Rub refillable mini applicator is really nice too, because as some of us know who use Deep Blue Rub on a regular basis, sometimes you get it on your hands and then you touch your face or you touch your nose or something like that, and you get all kind of tingly from the peppermint and wintergreen. It's very mentholy, in a good way and in a comfortable way. But it's nice to be able to have this never before seen mini applicator. So I'm excited about that as well. And then month 3, for the relief track, you get the 15 ml past tense. Now this is interesting. You'll notice that it has like a different cap on it. And usually we have seen the past tense in a 10 ml roller bottle. Now this is still undiluted, just as it was in the roller bottle. In the roller, it still didn't have dilution, but now it has this cap on it because of wintergreen being one of those oils that in certain countries have to have a safety cap. And then the Deep Blue Rub is also, Deep Blue Essential Oil is also in this one. The turmeric capsules, which I'll be talking about in just a minute about why they're so amazing. And then another extra little freebie is a mini fractionated coconut oil and 3 roller bottles. So in this one, they're kind of gearing you to learn how to use roller bottles, like more topical application. And then remember in the previous one, they were showing us how to use things on the internal kind of side. And then, and this one, I don't know, just like extra, the spa and the, what do you call those? The bath salts and the body butter is about taking time for yourself. So more like the mental kind of aspect of it. Okay, so I feel like those are important to go through with you, mostly like partly because they're new, but partly because, and I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. Our question was about, how did I say it? What's the one thing that you were looking for a solution for when you're getting into doTERRA? So I'm taking a look over here to see a couple answers, and it seems in sore knees and feet sometimes. Yeah, okay, so Marie may be somebody who wants to jump onto the relief wellness kit track so that she can have every month a very well thought out, kind of arrangement of things that would be supportive for that soreness. Marcella says allergies. We have one for sleep, one for pain. Oh, and emotional support. Awesome. Okay, yes. So Mary M, that's going to be definitely something that you would have to consider getting into the mind and mood kind of things. Those adaptive capsules are amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh, kids allergies is another one. Yeah, allergies is good. There isn't as of yet a wellness kit series for that, but maybe they'll do some soon. We do love our try-use though, don't we? Okay, I'm gonna go back. We might, let me see. Oh, is it this one? Or no, sorry, I'm getting the wrong one. Nope. Yes. Okay, so we're asked here to circle the products you already have which support your health goals. So if you have a new kit that just came into you, or if you have had these around for a long time, you may notice that we often see, I'm going to actually zoom out here, notice that we have the lifelong vitality supplements. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret in a little bit about how to get those lifelong vitality supplements for a huge discount. But at the moment, notice that we have lifelong vitality supplements in our foundations section, meaning like you kind of just need that all the time. Anyone who wants to have their health goals in like an ideal range, or even just a better management range, is going to want that. Also for resting and managing stress, you see these lifelong vitality supplements. By the way, we call these LLV affectionately. So if you hear me mention LLV, that's what I'm talking about. And the lifelong vitality supplements are here as well for exercise and weight management. And for reducing toxic load, it does still kind of equate because of needing to have all of our, whatchamacallit, all of our systems working properly to eliminate. Now, speaking of that, I'm going to draw attention to the fact that our eight in the series coming up, the next one. So next Saturday, if you want to show up to this, same bat time, same bat channel, or make sure that you watch the YouTube recording, is we're going to do nutrition and supplements for week 2. And the following week is about toxic-free living. Some of that is about things that we make in our home, but some of it's also about how we eliminate toxins from our environment by substituting things that are much more natural and better for our bodies. And okay, don't hit that one. Okay, wait, let me go back. Okay, so we will eventually, actually we also have week 8 is about pain management. So the whole weight management often means you're exercising, so you want to support that as well. Anyway, so yeah, we've got some good stuff for everybody, but this is our overview, and you guys can see here the Terrazyme and PB Assist are amazing just as foundational things, mostly because our digestion requires extra enzymes as we age, and so the Terrazyme is so great. I honestly feel like in my personal family life that I would probably have to I would be taking a lot more trips to the gastroenterologist if not for Terrazyme. It's been a huge help, specifically for my youngest kid who has some food sensitivities, and so I break open the Terrazyme capsules to be able to put in some honey. Now the PB Assist, I have to bring a little extra info to you guys for this. I love these just because they look like some sort of alien invention. And these particular ones you can't necessarily see, but there's like a clear fluid in one portion of these dual capsules. So the outer capsule has a prebiotic, which means that it just has like some great fibers and things like that that make a favorable environment that are going to, as soon as that outer capsule pops open, it's making a nice place for the good guys who are inside this chlorella capsule. When that comes open, you're able to get, all the things, like what do they have it on here? Okay, yep, 6 billion CFUs of active probiotic cultures, right? So that's what's inside the green portion. And so I just love how these look. I think they're really fun. And I really find them to be very useful. And when I was doing something specific for my husband, who he went on antibiotics for something. He had this back pain and they thought it might be something with his kidneys. And so his doctor asked him to do some antibiotics. And so he just went ahead and did it. And then the doctor also prescribed him a probiotic to be able to kind of counteract some of that. And as we went and checked the ingredients, he could pay $75 at the pharmacy for the probiotic, or for all the same ingredients and less fillers. And I also have to know it's because it comes with a prebiotic, it's even better, will be absorbed better in his body. But it was going to be $34, I think. And actually, I'll show you guys, there's a little way for you to get an even deeper discount on that. So keep listening for the end of the program so that you can hear about that. By the way, your code word that you're going to add on your Google form is autumn leaf. Autumn leaf is the code word. So if you're wanting to get credit, make sure you remember autumn leaf, and you'll have to answer that as we go along. We're putting that in random places so that you guys can have the answer. And All right, so PB Assist is awesome. Lemon in the water, frankincense on the top of your head is awesome. Resting and managing stress, so those lifelong vitality supplements, which I'll talk more about. Frankincense appears here as well. It has so many good qualities. There isn't much that Frank's good for. I hope you guys get to be friends with Frank. He's awesome. Balance is super, well, you guys have already known that it's in that mood, that mind and mood wellness kit. We have lavender. We also have the whole Serenity oil and Serenity soft gels. And I think that could be important for you guys to know that there are several ways to get this. The Serenity oil is a really nice set that has a lot of lavender in it, but it also has things like Roman chamomile, vetiver, marjoram, things that are very, very calming. And that, for me specifically, lavender doesn't really work all that well for sleep specifically, but I like the Serenity because it has a lot of the vetiver and the other things that kind of balance it out. So number one, it just works different on my body. And then number two, the combination of smells is amazing. So to be able to have the oil on topically, say like on the bottoms of your feet, or I love it like around my wrist when I have if I'm kind of curled up near my pillow with my wrist near my nose. But if that's not enough for you, Cheryl is not on right now, but Cheryl has actually gotten to avoid having to pay for her prescription, which she had been using because of these soft gels that doTERRA has. And not only does it have some really great oils in it, but it also has some GABA and I actually forget what else is in the Serenity soft gels, but they're really good stuff and they're non-addictive. They don't have the melatonin or things like that. They're going to kind of upset your system, but they're very, very supportive. So, so taking those in addition is another great way to go. If the oil itself and diffusing or topical stuff is not enough, you definitely hit it with those soft gels and you'll love those. There's also the adaptive oil and soft gels for that as well. Actually, I guess technically they're probably capsules, not soft gels. But in any case, the adaptive capsules have the ahi flower, and it's very, very like on a long-term basis. If you have a deeper issue than just the situational stuff, the adaptive oil is great for situational stresses. But if you need more than that, just on a regular basis, then you need to look into the adaptive capsules. Exercise and weight management. Slim and Sassy is so much fun to be able to put in water or use topically. This one, we have done a couple things on weight management. You guys might be able to find a recording on YouTube. That was a really great session that had some good stuff. So know that there's resources available if that's something that you're interested in. The Deep Blue Rub, which we've mentioned in the Relief Wellness Kits, and also taking a look at the soft gels for the Copaiba. Now, I typically just use the Copaiba under my tongue. I put 2 drops under my tongue in the morning and 2 drops in the evening. Not only does it help me sleep better and be less stressed, I really like how it definitely seems to affect the soreness of my muscles. My husband even tells me that he really likes if he says when he remembers, because he does have them on his side of the bed, but when he remembers to take the Copaiba under his tongue, he says he feels like he sleeps better and that he wakes up with less aches and pains. So I think that's pretty awesome. Copaiba is something that a lot of people haven't necessarily heard of before. A lot of people know about CBD oil and how it works with the endocannabinoid system in your body. We all have an endocannabinoid system. And so Copaiba has a very direct lock and key kind of connection with that system of our body. The CBD oil has some interactions with it, but not quite as strong connections. And so we find a lot better effects from the Copaiba than we do from the CBD oil. During the pain management session, which is week 8, we can talk a little bit more about that, but that will be something that if you guys are needing extra support for, you may want to go for either the soft gels for the Copaiba, especially if you're not super familiar with actually taking the internal use as of yet. Then you can go with the soft gels so you feel more comfortable with it. I also, oh, here's why I switched over. I want to also show you guys about the turmeric. All right, so these are so much fun. So it's similar with that dual chamber from the PB Assist. There's also these turmeric capsules. I can't tell you how many stories about people who have had, I don't know, just a lot of trouble with inflammation, some things that they've struggled with for years and years and years, and things that, like at the cellular level, that seem to be really tricky to take care of. These capsules have been amazing, and part of the big deal about this is that they do come with the essential oil, which is in this outer portion, and that supplies the tumerones, and the inner portion has the curcuminoids. And most of us have known about the curcuminoids being so good for our body. It's in a lot of the just a lot of the things you hear in the health food store. They'll throw, like, all the curcuminoids that you really want for that botanical portion of just like the ground turmeric root. But the fact that it has both the tumerones and curcuminoids means that we're getting the maximum effectiveness. And so this is huge, huge, huge when you're, trying to, and you guys have probably also heard too about having to take some of the turmeric with some black pepper. With this, it has that great balance that it's so much more effective than the throwing some black pepper at it would be. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind if you struggle with any of those kinds of things. I have, thank you, Marcella. Okay, so from the doTERRA website, it says Serenity Restful Complex, that's the soft gels, combines well-researched relaxing benefits of lavender oil and L-theanine, along with lemon balm, passion flower, chamomile to gently promote relaxation and sleep. Awesome, thanks for the extra info there. Okay, I'm gonna go back and share the last section that we're going to kind of go through is about reducing toxic load. So using your diffuser is a fantastic way to do this because it does actually clean the air. There's studies about this, and you really can clean the air by having this. You're going to want to do, room sprays are also just as effective if you prefer that. A diffuser is nice because you can kind of set it and forget it, especially if you have one of the longer floating ones. The On Guard concentrate is amazing to be able to just put 2 tablespoons of something in, and then fill the rest of the spray bottle with water. And this is so good to get the chemicals out of your home and replace it with something that is really, really effective. Oh man, I just had somebody, Sarah, my pet treat friend, was just telling me yesterday about, oh no, wait, I think actually she was talking about using Purify. Okay, well, I'll skip that story then, but just surprisingness, surprised at the effectiveness of some of these doTERRA products is where I was thinking to go. All right, On Guard laundry detergent. I use this. I love this. I recommend diluting what you get this in. I specifically break mine into about 1/3 because it's just so concentrated. And most people, even if you're kind of like reading the directions, I feel like in general you kind of get almost more than what you need for this laundry detergent. So it goes so far. It says it has 64 loads worth in it, and it smells amazing. And I will tell you, like, it gets some really yucky stuff out of it. You guys have to know, I'm a mother of 5. I know dirt, I know potties, poopies, all that kind of stuff. And I really do like this On Guard laundry detergent. And you also saw there about the skincare things and the spa products. Many people don't realize that doTERRA is, we're kind of trying to be a little bit of a one-stop shop. So even if you don't have some essential oils that you necessarily are needing, really, honestly, you're going to want to consider some of the products that they have. Not only are they higher quality, and I can show you guys how to get even deeper discounts on what like the price of them are. But in addition to that, they just, they're just more gently made. And so if you're trying to reduce your toxic load and not have those kind of chemicals in your environment, you're going to want to change over to some things for your skincare, lotions and face cleansers and things like that, as well as like the shampoos and conditioners and you guys have to try the root to tip serum. It's so great. I remember the first time or two that I've used it, like it changed my whole like outlook for the next like 2 weeks about how my hair looked and that its health and its strength and shine and stuff like that. It's really, really great. Okay, so anyway, I could totally go on about many of these things way too much, but we're supposed to be just doing the overview, so I'm going to keep on passing through. Actually, go ahead and pop into the comments for me as we're continuing to go here. Tell me in the comments or on your Google form, besides lemon, what do you like to put in your water? If you have never tried something, an essential oil in your water, that's okay. You can go ahead and make that answer, or just tell me what you would consider trying in your water. All right, so we're gonna get to that in a minute, but go ahead and start typing that in the chat. All right, so here's an idea about having fun, diffusing something new every day. Invigorating combos like peppermint and wild orange are amazing in the morning. And at night, you can enjoy lavender and breathe of like about 3 drops or so. Now, here's what I think is kind of fun. Very flexible, but I'm going to give you a little extra tip because you're going to find like 1 or 2 things that you just love and can't live without. So some of my kiddos seem to get stuffy noses in the night, and I notice that they don't sleep nearly as well. Even if they aren't like getting out of bed and coming to tell me that they have a stuffy nose, I can walk by the room and I can tell they're kind of like, kind of flipping over and struggling and stuff like that. And when I have breathe in the diffuser, it's huge. But then I also want them to have some immune boosting, so I may put in On Guard. And then if one of them has been struggling with bad dreams, I may pop in some juniper berry. And so, and it changes sometimes about what it is I want to support them with. Sometimes I have more cedarwood in there because I feel like they've been kind of like excited and too like rambunctious during the day, and I want to get them like really settled for a nice day the next day. So, but here's a little tip that I found because in the beginning I found I wasn't using my diffuser very much because I didn't want to walk to the other side of the house to go get my oils. So I know. So number 1, where are you keeping your oils? If you have things that you're using at other places, put them there. Let them be a support to you, right? It doesn't do any good to have them in your home unless you have them in a usable space. So you can, let me show you guys a little trick super fast since we're doing this. I have my oils now wet thing. Okay, so here's how you can make this easy. When you have like an empty bottle or something that's like close to being empty, unscrew the cap and turn it on just a little bit, and you'll be able to catch the edge of what we call the orifice reducer. Of course, I happen to get one that I've never taken off before, so it's a little tighter. All right, so, but you kind of use the edge of the cap, which saves your thumbnail. Have you guys ever sat there and tried to like pop this off or like, like bite it off? So using the cap method is really, really easy. Now, once you have that off, say I want to put in some breathe. So I'll grab my breathe, and in the empty bottle, I'll put like 10 drops of breathe, and then I'll add in like 10 drops of On Guard and maybe 10 drops of cedarwood, something like that. So then when I go to keep this in my kiddo's room and have the diffuser there, I pop in the water and I'm just adding 3 drops of what's already mixed. That's saving me time and making it less crazy. Like, where did I put that? Is it in her room? Is it in my husband's room? Is it like, you don't have to just like figure out where stuff is. It's already right there for you. And I find that to be a really, really effective way to make sure that you are having more fun with your diffuser instead of doing the, like just sitting there wondering and then not actually using it. Also, there is a way, somebody was telling me, of setting up your diffuser with a smart timer. Being able to set it so that it can go off in the morning. So she was telling me that she has it with her wild orange and peppermint set to go off at 7:30 because she wants to be able to get up at 8, and her goal is to be able to get up at 8 before her alarm goes off because of the wild orange and peppermint. I thought that was kind of a neat idea. All right, if you are concerned about how to go through and dilute your oils, this is a really good, just super simple kind of setup that in general is good to use. anytime you're going to try to have something kind of stay in one location for you, say for if you have like muscles or joints or joint issues or even some skin problems where you're maybe having like a rash or something like that. So it's the idea is that you want the essential oil to stay in that location, as opposed to normally what happens is you put the essential oil on your skin, it absorbs completely and it starts nourishing every cell in your body, and it's fantastic and we love those benefits as well. But to stay in your spot where you want it, you can either use some fractionated coconut oil or any kind of carrier oil, or an unscented lotion. By the way, the doTERRA version doesn't have all the junk in it that keeps the essential oils from being able to absorb into your skin. A lot of the, what do they call those? PBAs or I'm blanking out on the other word. I know there's a lot of sulfates. There's something else that's it's specifically about like making a barrier on your skin, and that barrier is not allowing the essential oils to absorb into it. I'm blanking out on the word. Maybe somebody will help me in the comments, but if not, that's fine. You guys get the main idea. Use a lotion that is very, very natural, that that doesn't have the junk in it. So pretty much, if you're getting it from the dollar store, or even there's even some kinds like Aveeno, for example. I know it still has this kind of junk in it. That's the name's escaping me, but anyway. So yeah, so use a good quality lotion if you're gonna be doing that. But we also like to dilute because sometimes you can kind of get some sensitization, or it's just kind of feels like too hot or whatever. Or if you're gonna like accidentally make the mistake of getting it in your eyes, this has actually happened to several people in my family. The nice thing is you just slap a little bit of fractionated coconut oil or any kind of carrier oil on it, and it'll dilute it. But so we don't want to use water in general. We do want to use an oil to dilute the oil. Here's a good brief outline about what you're going to do with, say, like a 10 ml empty roller bottle. And to do this, you're going to go less than like 1/10, just filling the bottle of like really, really low amount. If you're talking about using it for a young kid, a little bit more, or in general, but it has the here 6+ years. In general, if I'm making a roller bottle of my own, I'm only putting like this much essential oil in it in general, and then the rest is going to be fractionated coconut oil, and that allows it to stay at that location. Okay, so if I'm looking for like some relief on my muscles or something like that, and so I want those, like the wintergreen and the copaiba and the aroma touch and the deep blue to stay right there where I have that extra pain. I want that dilution level. So that chart should be a good support to you guys, so you feel empowered to be able to use what you have in a way that's going to be absorbed really, really well and stay there and continue supporting you. All right, I'm going to pop over and see what you guys had about using some essential oils in your water. Do remember, if you're new to this, that we always want to drink out of stainless steel or glass. The reason for that is because there's a lot of cleansing benefits to specifically citrus oils, and so we do want to be able to kind of keep the junk in the plastic and not have it come into the water, right? So glass is fantastic for being able to do that. We want the cleansing benefits to happen for us, for our urogenital tract. We want it to be very gentle and fantastic way, just to have a slow amount all the time of some cleansing. But the stainless steel and glass are the only two that we will keep the essential oils in. So if you have like bottled water that you've gotten from the store that's in like the little, plastic disposable kind of, or recyclable kind of containers, that was not the best way to get your essential oils in your body. I have, in a pinch, added a drop or two and then drunk the entire thing down, because there are some really, if you guys go look up limonene, like just Google limonene and benefits of it, and you'll figure out why we keep saying these citrus oils are so good. They have so many benefits for metabolism. I mean, you guys go look it up, it's great. But but there are smart ways to do it, and then there's other ways. So hydration is one of them. If I realize that I'm dehydrated, like I've been out in the sun all day, I haven't been drinking, I'm starting to get a headache, and starting to like kind of feel a little woozy. Even if I only have like those plastic bottles, I'm going to go ahead and put some whatever wild orange or whatever I have with me in there, and just a drop to be able to drink it down. And that short time isn't going to kill me, right? But if I leave it in there overnight or something like that, it's definitely going to be gathering some of the yuckiness. Okay, so I'm going to jump over here. Oh, Marie had put in about the spa items are the most wonderful products, and sensitive skin loves them. Thanks for sharing about that. Okay, so here we go for some of the ideas. Slim and Sassy and lime. Oh man, yeah, lime actually is my son's favorite. I find him using that all the time. I keep a little caddy next to my refrigerator, and I always have 6 or 7 oils in there. Ones that are really easy for kiddos even to be able to put into their, like, the big stainless steel water bottles, and then drink throughout the day. All right, we have spearmint and fennel. That's awesome. Oh, fennel is really interesting. It's kind of like a black licoricey taste. My kids love fennel. They talk about it all the time about having fennel water. It really tastes almost like sugary sweet. It's amazing. I see wild orange here. I see spearmint, pre-making blend. Great idea for trying out the blend that has a lot of drops, but you only want 3 or 4 drops in the diffuser. Awesome. Oh, yes, and parabens. Thank you, Marcella. That's the word I was looking for, right? So yeah, there's a lot of parabens, even in Aveeno. Lotion, and so that's going to make a barrier on your skin instead of allowing those high quality doTERRA oils to like absorb into your pores and get into your system. So yes, that's what you want to make sure, is that there's no parabens in there. Yeah, and I have seen a lot of diffuser recipes. You're right. Hey Chris, good to see you joining on. I have seen a lot of diffuser recipes for like that may have like, like 6 drops this, 9 drops that. They're talking about making a container, like using an empty container. That way you can only use like 3 or 4 drops at a time in your diffuser. So hope that's helpful for you guys. Okay, and I know we did already mention a little bit about the lifelong vitality supplements, but here's a couple things about taking those LLV. If you got those in your kit, you want to take them after your first substantial meal. So that means if you're just kind of having coffee and a yogurt in the morning, you're going to want to wait to have your lifelong vitality supplements until you have like a heavier meal during the day. Also, starting slow is a huge perk, or like I would say it's an essential part. If you haven't been taking any supplements at all, you'll probably want to start with 1/4 of a dose or a half dose for a few days, because it can almost just like overwhelm your body, be like, are you sure we're supposed to be having this much right now? So it can kind of cause a little bit of flushing action unless you're starting slow. It doesn't mean that your body is having an allergic reaction or something like that. It just means it's surprised to be having so much at once. And so it kind of has to like work into knowing what to do with all of that goodness. So the full dose is 2 of each supplement 2 times a day. So that means you'll be taking kind of like 6 in the morning, or whenever you have your heaviest meal, your first substantial meal, and then the other set would come a little bit later. But I do avoid trying to make it like late at night. Like if you're eating dinner at 7 or 8 at night, probably want to try to switch it up to make that first set a little earlier in the day. It really gives me a lot of energy. It doesn't have caffeine or something weird like that in it, but it does just kind of increases my cellular vitality. And so, all right, here's the other thing about those lifelong vitality supplements is it's such a great idea to make it a real lifestyle, and having like an actual ritual kind of of having them alongside your meals, or something that's very constant in your routine, keeping them of like where you're going to see them instead of leaving them away in the high cupboards. That kind of makes the same idea for when you're talking about using the essential oils as well. You're going to want to keep them where you're actually going to use them. Right. And the longer you take your supplements, the more you'll experience the maximum amount of support that comes over time. The same thing, right? Anytime you're looking at that, what do you call it? Small amounts more often equal a bigger impact than a lot at once. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys about the we're going to call it the LRP, that means Loyalty Rewards Program. And everyone who's been doing doTERRA for a while realizes that this is like the no-brainer portion of having your account with doTERRA, because there's just so many benefits and like really nothing to fear. I know some people really start a little fearful about the LRP, Loyalty Rewards Program, because they're like, oh, that's like automatically shipping me stuff, and like it sounds scary. And I've gotten burned by other companies where like you can't seem to shut it off, and like it's sending you the same thing every week or so every month or whatever, and it can get kind of crazy. So I know why people have the fear of it, but there's just so customizability for this and too many perks to pass up. So I'm going to show you guys a couple cool things. So here we have an example of that lifelong vitality pack that appears in so many of the things. So we have the Alpha CRS, E Omegas, and Microplex BMZ. So there's 3 bottles within this pack, and that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. Now you are able to get those for $79.50, and that is what they're calling a 30-day supply. But honestly, many people split this into 2 months, and so it ends up being a 60-day supply for how some of our bodies work. Like my body in particular doesn't necessarily need all 4 of these. Okay, but and I'm also going to show you guys something I know I have promised you, and you like to be able to. So here at the doTERRA.com website, and I'm going to log into my account. Yours will look really similar to that, and I'm going to put the edit. So if you're logging in for the first time, you'll have to choose that you want to do a loyalty order. Now, you can always create the one-time order, but you miss out on a lot of the benefits. In fact, go ahead and type in the comments for me right now. This is your 4th question. Question number 4, whether you're doing it on Google or Google Forms or here in the thing, go ahead and name one of the benefits of loyalty rewards. So this could be something that if you're someone who's already had your account for a while, tell me something that you already know, or to get the credit for it, you can type in something that you hear us say. All right, so all of us are able to get the 25% discount just because we have our membership already, right? But here's why we want to do the loyalty rewards instead of just the standard order. We do like our 25% wholesale discount. We can get an extra 10% thrown in, and to have like put back points into our bank account, our doTERRA bank account. And then it grows into the 15% to 20 to 25. And here I've been sitting at this 30% back, which really is making it 55% off of the things that I'm purchasing. That means every time I'm spending $100 on doTERRA products, including my laundry detergent and my shampoo and root to tip serum and spa products, all those things, I'm actually getting $30 to spend getting more of them. And I think that's pretty fantastic. And that's, 55% savings from what I would be otherwise, doing for retail. Okay, so here's a couple things that you're going to want to know. And here's the reason why you don't really, after you start doing after you start doing the loyalty rewards program, you really don't want to turn it off, because you want to be able to maintain your loyalty rewards points. So those, if you guys will notice over, where is it? Okay, so I'm going to hit the edit order button, and as we pop into my account, you'll see I have some reward points here. I have 146 reward points sitting here waiting for me to use. That's like $146, right? Now that's because I'm at the 30%. So you may be starting only at the 10% back, but as you showed your loyalty to doTERRA, doTERRA likes to reward you, right? So say I click this button right now, and I immediately just proceed to check out. I'm going to get an estimated loyalty rewards points of $37 bumped right on into my reward points. Now, what's awesome about that is I can use them and just for free stuff, right? So you'll notice I'll have some points disappear from here, and suddenly the myrrh that I was just about to get is now free. I'm paying $0 for it, and I just traded in my points, right? So I can clickety click through and, you know, pay for whatever I like to right there. So that's fantastic with this one. As long as it's over 50 PV, that's product value. As long as it's over 50, then that's when I'm earning my points, right? And if I am over 100, I qualify to receive income. And at 125, this is the special one. And this is where I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on here for the specials for this month, because we always get a free product of the month. Now, I like when I consider the different things that my family and I need on a regular basis. I mean, the hand wash, all these kind of things. Getting to 125 is no problem. When I like to have these high quality products brought right to my door, so it's no problem for me to jump in and get that that free product of the month for 125. So as long as I'm making that before the 15th of the month, right? It's only for if you're doing your loyalty rewards thing for between the 1st and the 15th, that's when you get the free clove. Okay, so clove is for the month of October. It changes every month based on, you know, just doTERRA's amazing ideas for being very supportive. All right, speaking of supportive ideas, here is what's going on with doTERRA for this month. There's a $75 value that they're throwing in for free when instead of 125, we bump it up to 200 PV, and it's all things digestive. So peppermint is fantastic for so many things, but I mean, like, I find it sometimes it's so peppy, you know, on the emotional side of things. You might, so it's the oil of a buoyant heart. So I think peppermint helps me get over things that I might sit and ruminate on a little bit too long. Like thinking about unfairness or injustice, or like seeing something that just rubs me the wrong way. The peppermint helps me kind of move past that on the emotional level. So I really do love that. We will jump back into being my normal self. But then of course there's so many other good uses too, just kind of as a wake me up, or, you know, relief for headaches or pain or whatever too. The digestin is specifically in the soft gel form to be able to take if you're having a lot of digestive issues. This does actually, if you haven't heard me talk about digestion before, it's good for when things are flowing a little fast or not flowing fast enough. I'll leave most of that interpretation to you. And then we have the tamer, and is this calmer? I think it's calmer. The picture makes it look like it's not, but I think it's calmer. All right, so both of these things it is. Okay, thanks, Marcella. All right, so both of these are from the kids line. And what's neat about this is there's some things like the tamer, for example, is tummy focused, but it has some very gentle oils in it. So it does not have peppermint, for example, because that can kind of be like an oil that causes some sensitization, but it does have spearmint in it, which has many of the similar properties and adds to a beautiful, I mean, if you guys smell these, you guys, that's the one thing I miss about having our awesome, like in face-to-face meetings, is I do love interacting with other people and hearing their stories, as well as, you know, sharing mine. But I love just being able to have some of these available for people to open up and be like, oh, I had no idea it smelled like this. I'm definitely going to get some. So there's a lot of people who yeah, I guess get good ideas for supporting their own families by seeing how other families do it. And that's the benefit of being in the community. And you can get a little bit of that by being on the Facebook group, you know, and seeing some of the testimonies that people share in there. But it's extra fun to have the just face-to-face interaction and stuff like that too. And the question about digestion capsules instead of the oil, I find really, honestly, I think a lot of the capsules, I would change that over, mostly if somebody like my husband, where he was before. Now he has no problem. He calls it taking digestion. He calls it down the gullet. And so when he has like some of that fiery feeling coming up after a heavy meal, he'll just take it like down the gullet, meaning like one drop down the back of the throat, and he'll just swallow there. And most of the time he doesn't even swallow, you know, follow it up with with water. But in the beginning, my husband was very against natural woo-woo weirdo stuff, and he only trusted the things that he'd grown up with a doctor as a father. And so having the digestion capsules at that time was a good way for me to get those essential oils in to be super supportive of his system, so that he wasn't taking what he used to would have taken. So okay, I'm gonna go back. All right, so those two things, the calmer, you guys can probably imagine, it does have lavender in it, but it also, magnolia is one of the things that's in this ingredient, in the calmer, and it's really, really fantastic. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to have to mention is about the 15% off. I can't tell you how delighted I am. My rose is actually super, super low. I don't know if you guys can see. It's just like down at the bitty bottom. So I am so, so excited that I'll probably end up getting 2 of these this month. But that's another really cool thing about how doTERRA, every month they have something that's free. They have something that's a discount. And then occasionally, like this month, they also have something where if you're getting a 200 PV worth of something, and that does count for an enrollment order or for a standard order as well. But you always want to do it with a loyalty reward style, because, wait, I went back. Hang on, can I share my screen? Oh, now I reduced that. Hang on a second. Okay, this, because you want to get more points, right? So when I'm doing that 30%, I want 30% of those 200 PV to also go into my cart, into my bank account, I guess you say, like my doTERRA bank account, right? I think I was showing you guys, yeah, like these ones up here. Okay, let me show you also, I'm gonna type in Lifelong Vitality Pack 30-day supply. And so you guys will see, this is why I was talking about being able to get this for reduced price. Normally it's 106. You can do just for 80, but here's where the savings come in. And I know I had mentioned specifically to you guys about that PV Assist. So normally it's $34.50, but if you can choose up to 3 of these particular products. There's even more here, and you get them at a reduced price. So this deep blue polyphenol complex that are so great for pain and inflammation, normally is $59.50. You're paying almost $60, and that is it's worth it. I mean, it's got frankincense resin, it's got all this extra curcuminoids. It's really, really good. And I'll tell you, if you guys tend to have a lot of aches and pains in general. This was actually what got my husband off of some of the 8-a-day pain pills, is this deep blue polyphenol complex. So, and in the beginning, I didn't know how to get these for as cheap as this, right? So, but I love that we can get these at significant savings here. So that only paying $20. So I go like this, I click one in for that. I have to have some Terrazyme in my home because we need it for our digestive kind of benefits, and then getting PB Assist as well. Now, sometimes I'll trade over here and I'll trade out 1 or 2, and I'll get the kids kit or the Mito 2 Max, which if you guys have any kind of issues with energy or stamina and don't want something that's a stimulant, but do want something that's toning for the adrenals, this is going to be a really good friend to you. Okay, so I've clicked my 3, and so here into my cart, it pops and just generating. Okay, yep. So it shows me that it not only added this, but it gives me the extra sale price for these other things as well. Okay, so love that. Hope that's supportive for you. And when you're, oops, this one. So the free product of the month, the product credits that you guys can see adding in there. So this is kind of like a general idea if you're just to kind of start with making your own wellness box instead of using what we had looked at previously, where doTERRA kind of sets up something that's for immunity or the relief or whatever. This is the kind of thing it would look at. And notice this is 126 PV, which means that you're getting the free oil of the month, right? So last thing, two more supportive things, I guess. One, let me go back and show you something that I accidentally passed by, which is these are some really, really useful essential reference books that I love, love, love. So there's the Modern Essentials, and this is now up to the 11th edition. And it really, I would say use this if you're a little bit of a geek when it comes to having some science, or if you like to have a reference book that's almost a little bit more medical. The Essential Life book, I would say, is just, it's beautiful. It's almost like a coffee table book, except that it has some really, really good recipes in it. But everything is just very picturesque and gorgeous. And then also the Healthy Start Oil Magic book. Sometimes you can even find these for like dirt cheap. Sometimes they're like, you know, cheap enough that you can get them only for the price of shipping or something like that. And so Oil Magic is another one. And all three of those have ones that are like not exactly doTERRA, but pretty much they're doTERRA. That way, like if they recommend the digestive blend or something like that, they're talking about digest, and they're telling you all the ingredients that are in there. And as an extra perk, I would recommend this Essential Emotions book. I think this is up to the 7th edition now. I think the newest one just came out within the past week or so. And that is amazing to have like this whole different view about what's so great about oils. All right, going back to, what else is there? Let me double check and make sure. Okay, I've got the promotions. Oh, I remember. Okay, so here, Symphony of the Cells. So we do have a whole class in general about, oh, you know what? Hang on, I've remembered. I wanted to see what else you guys had loved about LRP. So let me see. Okay, so free products is one answer. Points to spend later. Good job, Mary. Marie says discounts. Yes, points to spend on Christmas presents. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Get to try new products and oils with free product a month. Very good. Marcella adds in that she's sensitive to digest Zen topically, so she likes to do it internally. And she didn't used to like the taste of the capsules. It was a great alternative. That's another good point. Thanks for answering that question. Seeing the extra products that are reduced in price when you buy the wellness kit into your LRP. Thank you, Chris. Yes, I'm not going to go over that today, but just in general, when you pop in to get one of the wellness kits, that's like, you know, the one that's like $75, and then each month you have like a really just easy button bundle of something to achieve that, whatever your health goal is for that particular month. You can be on multiple, by the way, if you need help on all those areas, like that's totally cool too. But yes, so there's also a whole list of things that are also supported that are optional. So you would get a 20% discount on, they even have like diffusers in there and other just like, you know, oils that are pretty good, but like might just be like something optional that you might want. So I think they have like, one of them has like neroli, which tends to be a little more expensive oil. You can get that for 20% off when you're getting, like, I think that one's from the Mind and Mood kit. And so each set has like an additional kind of like opportunity for you to get a 20% off of those. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. All right, kids. Yeah, so the add-ons. Yep, exactly. Yeah, just like the LLB add-ons. Thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, and the last thing before I switch over to the next part is so Symphony of the Cells. We do have week 5 when we're doing our stuff is how we love Symphony of the Cells in depth, and knowing why we're choosing a couple of the things and how to do it. But here's just, you know, even if you just want to take a screenshot, or if you want to go to symphonyofthecells.com, these are great ways for you to be able to get a very in-depth, whole body supportive routine oil application that even without skills, like you don't have to know massage techniques, and honestly, like when I do this for my family, it takes less than 5 minutes per person. So it's not introducing a lot of trouble or, you know, anything like that into my family's routine, but it's very, very supportive. There's a lot of choices from Symphony of the Cells, where you can get some different ones, but just applying frankincense, oregano, digestin, lemon, melaleuca on garden peppermint to the spine and then to the bottoms of the feet for each one, layer by layer, is really, really good. I think they seem to have forgotten making the fractionated coconut oil here, which is, oh, I see. Actually, they tell you up here, apply fractionated coconut oil liberally to the back, neck, and shoulders, and then do some drops of these. Okay, so that's how that goes. So yeah, because I was like, oregano is kind of a hot one. I got to make sure, but I didn't see that had been written in here. Okay, Marcella, could you tell us a little bit about the 3 kinds of people who love doTERRA?
Awesome. So I am going to just spend a little bit of time talking about just a business opportunity that doTERRA offers you. Can everybody see that? What am I sharing the wrong thing? No, oh, we're good. All right. All right. So let me put it this way. So just building a pipeline. So even before thinking of doing a business with doTERRA, just this idea of building a pipeline is what I wanted to talk to you guys and maybe have you all think a little bit about where you're at and where you'd like to see yourselves in the future. And maybe this is an opportunity that will call to you. And at the end, we'll just have this fun little quote for you to think about afterwards. So, as Amanda wanted me to share with you all, there are 3 types of people in particular that come to doTERRA that we end up kind of bringing onto our doTERRA family. The first person is the type of person that just wants to live the wellness lifestyle. So that's how I started with doTERRA. I originally just wanted to address some of my health concerns, and as Amanda told me more and shared more about oils with me, I thought about my mother and my husband. And that was pretty much the scope of my wanting to share. It was just, I wanted to help my mom sleep a little bit better and wanted to help my husband with some pain. And that's great. In fact, about 85% of the people that sign on with doTERRA, that's all they're interested in is living a natural lifestyle and using these oils to make to solve some of their simple health solutions naturally. So that's great. If you're one of those people, no problem. Then there are people who would like to share. They want to maybe get their products paid for. So I kind of moved into that point when I realized, one, I was having great results with the product and I wanted to maybe get them paid for if I could. And then 2, when people would walk into the room wherever I was and maybe they were having some sneezing, sniffling symptoms or maybe a headache, and I automatically wanted them to feel better. In fact, that just happened yesterday. There was a gentleman setting up a lab at my job, and he had a really bad headache. And I kind of was like, oh, should I share oils? And I was like, you know what? He's having a headache. Of course I'm going to share oils. Why wouldn't I? So I just, not even asking him to become a doTERRA member or open an account or start selling it or anything like that. I just went up to him and said, hey, would you be willing to try something natural? And he said, at this point, I would do anything. My head is killing me. So I was like, well, here's some deep blue. Why don't you just rub some of that on your forehead or wherever you feel pain and see how it goes? And then I left and I had to go back into the room and I was like, I'll take another bottle just in case. I had a blend of Copaiba and Deep Blue. So I grabbed that and I went back to the room because I had to grab something. And I said, is it working yet? And he was like, not quite yet. I still feel some pain. I was like, fine, try this one. And what you can do is alternate between the 2. You can take them home. Let me know on Monday what worked for you. That is it. I didn't need to say anything else, but I couldn't see him in pain and not share these oils with him. So that is the second type of person, someone that just wants to share and maybe go ahead and in their sharing over time consistently will share enough and build enough of a team that they can get their products paid for. And the third type of person is someone who wants to earn an income and make an impact, change people's lives. And I crossed that bridge when I sat in an airplane coming home with my husband from California. And it was during that, change of season when everybody's sniffling and sneezing and has a runny nose and scratchy eyes. And people on the plane were sneezing. And I leaned over to my husband and I said, would it be inappropriate for me to run up and down the aisles and share some of my oils with people? And he said yes. So I did not do that. But that's when I knew I needed to make this something where I could impact people's lives and change people's lives. And I can't tell you how amazing it feels when someone says, I am no longer taking any over-the-counter medications for my runny nose. It is really amazing where they're like, you've changed my life. So it is an amazing feeling. You can earn enough income to replace your income at that point, if that's what if you want to do that, or you can just earn whatever it is that you want. But the bigger satisfaction is that changing people's lives, honestly. So those are the 3 types of people. So I'm going to share just a quick story with you guys about hauling buckets versus building a pipeline. So there was, we'll call it a woman. The story is usually with a man, but we're going to call her a woman because there's all ladies on the call today. So there was a woman in this village, that the only source of water was far away from the village. So her job was to run down to the source of water and haul buckets of water to the village to sell. And so if she got sick or couldn't do it for some reason, she wouldn't make money. If she needed to make more money, she had to haul more buckets. And it is exhausting. So eventually she got the idea of, maybe I could build a pipeline where I could get the water from the source to the village without having to run back and forth. So she took time out, the little bit of extra time that she had, she would work on building this pipeline. And whenever she could make a little bit of extra money hauling extra buckets, she would put it towards what she needed to build that pipeline. And eventually, over time, it wasn't an overnight thing. It took her a long time, but eventually she was able to build that pipeline. And when she turned on that spigot in town, it completely freed her from having to haul buckets. She was able to just make money from that spigot being turned on or off. And it's really freeing. So I wanted to ask you guys, where are you? Are you guys hauling buckets in a traditional job? Kind of like where I am. I'm still hauling some buckets. I'm still trading hours for dollars. I'm very limited in the job I have, and I'm very aware of that. In fact, it's a temporary full-time job. So I know there's an end to my job, and I don't have another job lined up right after that. So it's very oh, like imprisoning. I don't mean it to sound that terrible. I enjoy my job, but there is a certain sense of I don't know what I'm going to do after that. And so for people who truly need work, it's going to be a scary place to be, where you're trading dollars for hours and not sure what security you have in your job. Very different from having a pipeline and having direct sales, where you can create a residual income. You would have the freedom to choose your hours. So the woman hauling buckets had the freedom to choose when she was going to work on that pipeline. And then once she turned that pipeline on, she had freedom completely with her time. So, and she's building her dreams instead of right now I'm building dreams for someone else. I was just about to say where I work, but I probably shouldn't. So why doTERRA? I'm not going to read out all of these to you guys, because as I'm talking, I'm sure you guys are going to read them yourselves. I'm just going to pick 2 or 3. The first one is one of the ones that touches me the most. Is doTERRA is the most trusted, most tested. I always tell people, once I've educated them on oils and what to look for and why I love doTERRA and their oils, I always tell people, if you choose not to do oils with me, that's fine. You can go wherever you want. But now that you know, I really challenge you to, whatever company you choose to buy oils from, go to their website, call the company, ask them how they test their oils, where they get them sourced from. How do they know? How can they guarantee to you that what they say is in the bottle is actually what's in the bottle? If you get to a website where you can barely figure out how to contact the company, or you have no idea where they're sourcing their products or how they're testing them, why would you want to buy from them? Like, why would you trust them? Would be my question. doTERRA is super transparent that way. You can go to their website and you could see where they're sourcing their oils from. You can get some great stories about what they do, which will bring me to the next point in a second. But you can see why, that when they sell you a bottle of peppermint, there is 100% guarantee that it is 100% peppermint. And that really makes me at ease, because I know what I'm putting in my body, what I'm smelling, and what I'm putting on, inside of me. The other one I wanted to focus on was our retention rate. it's 65% retention rate, which compared to the industry average is 13. So that's just an incredible rate, which just speaks to the wellness advocates and the service heart of the company, that it's not just about a sale. It's about supporting our people. It's about seeing lives change. Like I said, I can't tell you how great it feels when someone says, "You've changed my life. These oils have changed my life." So that leads to that great retention rate. And then the other thing I wanted to focus on was the fact that they create partnerships with growers around the world. So like I was saying, they're super transparent about where they source their oils, but even more so, you get some great stories on the website about how they source their oils. One in particular that I'm sort of an environmentalist, kind of in the closet. I try not to tell too many people about it, but I love to recycle. I love to care for the environment. I think we should be stewards of our environment in a smart way. But the story of black spruce, how it's like a byproduct, like a leftover product of the industry in that area. And so they've come in and they're using these leftovers. Not only that, but the factory they use has like almost a zero carbon footprint. It's all recycled. Like I can't even give the story justice, but find it on the website and check it out, because that's not the only great story. They have so many great stories of how they're helping people on both sides of the bottle, not just on our side. So but I challenge you, look into doTERRA and look into other companies, and you decide why doTERRA for yourself. All right, so how would you make money with doTERRA? The real simple basics is you would sample people, like I mentioned with this gentleman at work. I just gave him an oil. I was like, here, give this a try. Let me know if it works. There's classes that we teach on the whole entire sampling process. I'm not going to get into that now, but sampling, you teach. I have not had super awesome success with getting people to my classes. I've admitted that in the past, but I have absolutely no problem sharing with people and talking to them about oils. So usually by the time someone is ready to buy, I don't have to teach a class, because I've taught it to them in snippets in 5 minutes here and there and stuff. So they know, the 3 ways to use oils, the 3 cool things about oils, the 3 types of people, and the 3 ways to get oils into their home. And I haven't had to be like, will you come to a class for me for 45 minutes? So, but just teaching them. I told this guy how to use the oil, when to use it, how often, and where I would be on Monday so he could find me and tell me how it worked. Then enrolling people. Once they do have an amazing experience and you've taught them about the oils, it's just asking them to join, and to open up their own account so that they can have access to these awesome oils at their fingertips. They don't have to go through me to get their oils. And then support. Support, again, is the heart of the company. Not only are we supporting the people who want to grow their business, like Amanda and I are doing, but we support everybody who enrolls. We give them these education classes that are free. We're there to answer questions. We do wellness consults. We follow up and we keep in touch so that, people are not just buying oils and keeping them in a box on their shelf. They're actually opening up that box and using it. And then repeat. So the income potential and opportunities are really limitless. It's really up to how much time you want to spend doing this. I kind of want to just focus on this for now, because the rest of this can seem a little overwhelming. But like I said, I kind of landed somewhere between sharer and builder, wanting to just kind of get my oils paid for. So if you see here, elite is probably where you'd want to be to kind of get your oils paid for. And that's just about where I am right now. I've been doing this for a little over a year, and I've just been sharing consistently. When I see somebody in pain, I share an oil. When I see somebody sneezing, I share an oil. If somebody asks because they see me using an oil, I will share with them. And just that consistent, just being aware of the people around me and being willing to share with them. I am just about getting my oils paid for free. I have not dedicated a whole lot of time to this so that I can necessarily replace my income right now, but the time I have been putting in, I've been seeing that growth. So like I said, it's not an overnight thing. It's not get rich quick scheme. This is put in your time and you will get results over time. So I don't know if there's anybody out there who would like to share a little testimony about what residual income means to them. I know for myself, I'm looking forward to time freedom. And I guess the biggest thing I could share is I remember watching somebody talk, and they call themselves a full-time family. And that's what I look forward to. I want to be a full-time family. I know my kids are out of the home, but I would love to be a full-time family with my husband where we would have the freedom to do whatever we want to do because we enjoy being together. I don't know if anybody else wants to share. I'll just wait 5 seconds. Is there anybody who wants to share what residual income means to them?
I'll go ahead and share if you want to maybe stop your screen share for a second. I don't know if you have more or not. I was going to say residual income is the idea that even if I take off time or I go away or for some reason have something serious happen in my family and need to care for someone or something like that for a longer portion of time, I'm not focusing that the fact that I've supported people along to be able to be empowered to use that stuff means it's going to continue. I'm going to continue getting that benefit. So it's worth my time to do some extra coaching when people first get their oils. So that for me, in the beginning, I was mostly, just my husband, as I mentioned, has not been open to essential oils for all that long. Part of it is over the past few years, he'll use a little bit here and there, and it's been a slow drip, so to speak, drip drop, like for oils, right? But to this day, other than an occasional Christmas present here or there, my personal budget, or like our family budget, I should say, the budget that we share for all of our household things and whatnot like that, has never gone to doTERRA aside for an occasional Christmas present. And that's because I've always been able to get my oils paid for, plus some. And so now that we have people on our on the lifelong vitality supplements, and there's multiple people, sometimes I even have like a $400 order because there's a lot of people in my family that need support of varying stages, and that's keeping them out of the hospitals and things like that. And so I love the freedom to be able to have that plus more, to have that time freedom. So that's a little testimony from me. I don't know if anybody has one. I did see a couple other questions here too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think the retention rate is related to customers specifically, not people who are trying to build a business. In fact, only 2% of how was I forget the other rate. Marcel, I don't know, you might remember. I think it's only 2% of people who have an account with doTERRA choose to share or build. And so yeah, so the 3% retention rate is pretty high. And then it looks like I'm seeing my comments about the Stanley Cup. Go Lightning! All right, very fun. Okay, did you have other things you wanted to share, Marcella?
I think I have a couple more slides, and then let me share my screen again. But yeah, so the retention rate, as far as I understand, is yes, like you said, is for let me see, this is going slow. There we go. So how much time is involved? So if you want to pay for your product, you're looking at about 3 to 5 hours a week. If you would like to supplement your income, you're talking about 10 to 15 hours a week. And if you want to replace your income, you're looking about 15 to 30 hours a week. And if you're wondering what you would do during all this time, if it's something that this is starting to make wheels turn in your head, I'm not going to get into all the details about the activities you would have to do to get this done. I shared like the, sampling and teaching and rolling and then repeating. We can get more into this. Just reach out to Amanda or to me, and we will talk more about this in detail. So could this work for me? I'm sure people are trying to ask themselves that question. Could this work for me? Well, are you passionate about oils? That's where it starts. You got to be using your oils and you got to be loving them, because it's kind of hard to share something that you don't love. At least it is for me. I'm not a salesperson, so I did not want to sell anything that I'm not passionate about. And so I love my oils. They changed my life, and that's why I want to share them. I don't take over-the-counter medicines for headache. I turn to my oils. That's why when this guy had a headache, I turned to my oils and I said, here you go. Why don't you give this a try? And do you care about people? Again, I cared about this guy. I care about the people I hear struggling with issues. So do you care about people? It sounds harsh, but it's some people don't. It's okay. You can just care about yourself and the people right around you. That's fine too. And can you follow a system and get things done? We will lay it out for you, very basic, what you need to do and what steps you need to follow, what activities are going to yield the most results. We can talk to you about all of that. And if you can follow simple directions, maybe this is something you want to consider. So what's the next step? So you need to be asking yourself, what type of person are you? Do you want to share? If you want to share, if you want to build, if this is starting to kind of make some wheels turn and you're thinking this is something you want to do, let us know. The next step would also be to attend a Business Made Easy presentation. If that's something that piques your interest, let Amanda and me know, and we will let you know when the next one is happening. And that's where we'll go deeper into what exactly is the compensation plan, what kind of residual income could you be looking at, and then get connected. If you think, yeah, this is me, I want to do this, what do I do, what's the next step, you can go ahead and jump onto dailymentorcalls.com. That is where most of the training will come from, where you will learn all the steps you need to follow to be able to start building a business effectively with doTERRA. And then this was a fun little quote I said that hopefully we will carry with you in the next week or so and be thinking about it. And suddenly you just know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of the beginnings. So, if there's that little voice inside of your head saying, I think I want to try this, I just say, listen to it and give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? So that's all I've got to share.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Well, friends, I think, yeah, I'm seeing Marie's idea. Yes, yes, and yes, this could definitely work for you. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording because this has been so good, so rich, but it's time. It's time to stop.